Hello everyone, this is Amnesia once again, and this time we're going to be watching Vehk versus JiMboYo. JiMboYo will be our pink Zerg spawning in top left, the 9 o'clock position here, and Vehk will be our blue Protoss player spawning in the 5 o'clock position. And Vehk going to be playing Protoss once again. We saw his Protoss was really strong at multitasking in the last game. Really great to see, really nice Sentinel usage. We'll see how he's able to handle a PvZ. Looks like he's going to be going for Forge Fast Expand most likely, putting this in this position. Really nice because this is a small choke here. Even smaller choke back here, so even if there is some sort of run by, you can usually have like a secondary defense here. 2 Dragoons side by side can hold position right there as if it, just same as like on a ramp. And looks like going to be a 10 pool here coming from JiMboYo. And sure enough, there we go. Overlord just now popping out, going to be able to get a couple more drones before he has to save up his larva for some Zerglings. And he actually is going for a Gateway Expand. This is not going to be a Forge Fast Expand. And I'm really not sure which is better in Starbow just yet. Oh, I can't follow units apparently. Alright, so I'll do my best to follow it with my mouse. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I'm not really sure between Forge Fast Expand and Gateway Expand which is better. The nice thing about the Gateway Expand is that one, your tech is a little bit further ahead. The second thing is that you can get your Kydarian Citadel up faster. Kydarian Citadel? Or Kydarian Citadel? I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, to be honest. Kydarian Citadel, I guess. You can get that up faster, which means that you have quicker access to Chrono Boost. And something I like to do versus Zerg is do a lot of early Zealot pressure. You can Chrono Boost a couple of Zealots out while you're teching up. And that'll just, if you're going for a gas-heavy build, then that's a way to sink your minerals. And it just keeps pressure up, keeps the Zerg from droning too hard. They're going to have to spend money on Zerglings. They're going to have to pay attention to their, they're going to have to tell their queens to rage out, or whatever it is that their ability's called. A couple of Zerglings going to put an end to the little harassment here by this probe, but it did delay the expansion quite a bit. You can see his Nexus almost halfway down itself by the time that the Zerg players has started. And this probe going to try to lead him in the wrong direction, I guess. That way, Zerg player isn't getting closer to his own base. Yeah, I guess that's his line of thinking. He doesn't really have. He's not really ready for the Zerglings to get to his base just yet. So it looks like by putting the Cybernetics core right here, he's going for a soft wall. This pylon might not be forward enough to. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So if you put if you put your Cybernetics core here, I think the pylon might be out of place for that. But if you put it here, then you can create like the same little one gap there. But pylon will also serve the same purpose. A couple of Zealots out here. He does have the Kydarian Citadel yet already. I mean, so putting 2 workers on gas. A big thing that's that is kind of weird to get used to in this is that you only have 1 gas in your base, so you don't actually need to put all 3 workers on that gas right away. Like it's the same. Putting 2 workers on it is pretty much the same as having 1 gas. Only taking 1 gas in StarCraft 2, from what I've been able to tell by playing with it a little bit. But in most cases, you don't need all 3 workers on gas right away. Chronoing out more Zealots. The Dragoons really don't do much versus the Zerglings, because Zerglings are so fast and can get us around. It's kind of like having Stalkers, like a slower version of a Stalker in StarCraft 2. This Overlord scouted the wrong direction to begin with, but will now be making his way down to get in a nice position to keep watch on Vehk. So their Overlord, seeing as much as he can see, he's going to see the Twilight Council going down, so he knows that Templar plays most likely the next stop. Oh man, I'm so used to trying to follow units, but these Zealots, 4 Zealots going to make their way up here, and this actually might be kind of a hard hold. There's a Spore Crawler and a Spine Crawler on the way here, and these Zealots, I don't know, it's really going to come down to where he chooses to attack from. Spinecrawler moving to a nice position, but if it doesn't get burrowed in time, these Zealots are actually going to get in there and he has to pull the spine crawler back. Just really unfortunate timing there for JiMboYo, and he is going to try to focus down this spine crawler. Hydralisk popping out just in time, going to start focusing down these zealots, but the spine crawler may fall. One Zergling goes down. The spine crawler manages to burrow before getting taken out. One zealot has fallen so far. The zealots are now going to start chasing down the Hydralisks, and the zealots forced to retreat here. Hydralisk could have given chase a little bit, maybe picked off another one, but they choose not to subject themselves to any sort of damage. One brave zealot, not sure why all the other zealots are on the other direction, but he's going to go in there all by himself. Manages to catch that at just the last minute there, and he's going to get out of there just fine. This Overlord, just bold as can be, standing over top of this, going to see that charge is researching. We've got 2 more gateways on the way. Is there a Templar Archives anywhere? There is not yet. So we're just going for a big, heavy, super heavy zealot with charge push here. More zealots lining up. Robotics facility on the way with some blink stalkers. Interesting. I've not seen a build like this before. Blink stalkers, I'm not sure. These are the traditional choice for this map. There's not really a place for them to blink into the main on this or in the natural. You all have to funnel right through here. But the one thing that he could do is run them by and blink right up onto this helipad here. A couple of zealots moving in here to see what kind of force he's up against. A lot of Hydralisks, a lot of Zerglings. Definitely not something that the zealots are going to want to take on by themselves. Forge on the way, so we'll be able to start getting those upgrades. But Zerg missile attacks are already about to finish. So these Hydralisks going to be even stronger here. More zealots moving up, just trying to keep the Zerg player in his base, it looks like. While he gets this robotics facility. And the Reavers are going to do quite a bit of damage versus this composition. These units are so small and they clump up really nicely. Third base on the way. JiMboYo is going to scout it, and I'm pretty sure Vehk can actually see that Overlord. Let's see. Oh no, he actually can't right now. But one Stalker out. Okay, I guess he was just getting one to take care of Overlords around the map. Stalkers are also pretty good against, what do you call them? Mutalisks. So that's another thing. But all in all, Stalkers are not the unit that they were in StarCraft 2. They're not very strong, much of anything. This base is going to get taken out. He might be able to cancel all this, but looks like at least one of the pylons will finish. Second pylon going to finish. There's at least 200, 300 minerals guaranteed there. This Hydralisk just standing guard. There they go, moving in finally. A couple of zealots going to come over here to try to save this, but it's just not going to happen, not with all these units over here. Oh, he might manage to pick off a couple of Hydralisks, but no, he doesn't. Has to cancel that Nexus. More zealots moving in here, and he might just be throwing these zealots away. Nice little kiting there by JiMboYo, moving the Hydralisks that are under attack. Loses one Hydralisk, all of his Zerglings, but all in all, definitely a much better fight there for JiMboYo. And Vehk not looking in the best position. Stuck on 2 bases, but then the Zerg player is on 2 bases as well. And we can see his production has stopped for the time being. He does have his one blink stalker along with the rest of the group. And Vehk can come over here and see if we can secure this third again. Actually not sure which is, I guess this one would be expanding towards his opponent, so that's why he's not taking it. Finally getting his Templar Archives down, about to finish. That will allow him to build Dark Templar, put on some nice harass. The Overseer is in place here. He's got Spore Crawlers in his bases, so I really don't think that a Dark Templar are going to be able to do much. But Storm, like I said, always very strong. He has his robotics facility out, so we can start loading those up into Warp Prisms. Storm drops are really good. If you can put 2 Storms, like one here, one here, and you'll take out all of his workers if he doesn't pull them. Also, dropping High Templar in your army. I mean, you want to keep them in the Warp Prism, just because High Templar moves so slow. So you put them in the Warp Prism to keep them with your army, and you can drop them in the best locations to put Storms down. So really, if he plays some, I guess what I'm trying to get at is a High Templar can really turn this around for him and pull him back into this game if he uses them correctly. You can actually see that he has quite a huge supply lead. And I think the cause for that, of course, being that JiMboYo is saving up a lot of money for a big wave of Mutalisks. Storm and Archons both really good at dealing with Mutalisks. The only problem being that Storm, of course, only storms one location, and Mutalisks can just fly right around it. But again, it comes down to control. That's what a lot of this game comes down to. which is nice. It's not all about unit composition, it's about how well you control those units as well. These 5 Hydralisks going to be able to take out this base. It looks like the reinforcement's not going to be able to get there in time to save this. Zealot's finally getting there, but he's going to no, he's going to actually try to take the fight, so this Nexus will finish with extremely low health. If he puts cannons all around it, he might actually be able to keep it for a while. And tunneling claws coming up here for the roaches. Big wave of roaches coming down. Missile attacks level 2 coming up. Kind of surprised to see this. He just finished his Spire, so I thought for sure it was going to be Mutalisks, but no, he's going for his... He's getting air attacks level 1, so Mutalisks are going to happen someday, it looks like, but maybe he just wants these roaches because he sees such a huge number of Zealots. Not really sure. A couple of Dragoons mixed in here to try to deal with these Hydralisks as well. So here's the big round of cannons that I was talking about that might be able to save this base. But JiMboYo going to be putting pressure onto Vehk's 4th here. And there we go. There he goes. He sees it. And he's going to be able to take this out, no problem here. No way that Vehk's going to be back in time. He goes and cancels it right away. This Dragoon Zealot force moving out here. High Templar trailing way behind. They're not going to be there for the big fight when they're actually needed, but Vehk will head JiMboYo off before the Zerg player reaches his Vehk's 3rd base there. He's a little bit supply blocked at the moment, though. He needs the storm. There it goes. Pushes those back. His own units moving through the storm, though. Loses 2 Zealots to his own storms. And these High Templar are just really having a rough time getting in a good position here. Nice storm going down right there. Able to take out a couple of Hydralisks. And even a roach falls there. Really nice. 2 roaches go down. And that will be able to let Vehk push this all the way back. Like I was saying, I mean, with Starbow, the game's not over until it's over. And I mean, in this case, Vehk looked like he was in a really bad position there after his 3rd got taken out, but he's actually managed to claw his way into a very comfortable position. Big Mutalisk switch coming up here. I guess not actually that big, only 6 on the way. I want a little bit more than that too. I mean, as long as he can keep it secret, then the more Mutalisks, the better. Neither player really having a lot of map vision right now, though. This Zealot scouting this base if it ever gets taken, which means that Vehk's going to try to come up here and push this base because that's the only other logical base that would be taken at the moment. The 6 Mutalisks are going to move out and see if they can do some damage. I guess he's going to try to fly around these cannons here, which is a really nice idea. He might be able to take out quite a few probes before anything's able to be done about it. Vehk's army moving even further up the map here is going to be able to take out this base up here. And again, High Templar trailing way behind. Let's see, where are these Mutalisks? A couple of Mutalisks flying right over Vehk there, so Vehk now knows that this exists. We have 10 Mutalisks right there. Able to get take out one of JiMboYo's bases, though. Looks like he took it out and it wasn't even cancelled. And now Vehk's going to push right here into the 3rd of JiMboYo, where JiMboYo has all of his units ready to go. These Mutalisks being microed astoundingly to take out this Nexus, but meanwhile he's losing all of his units back home. Nice storms going down, pushing the Zerg further back, and the Zerg is losing position on his own base. The Roach is taking so much damage, though. Another couple of good storms going down, even storming the drones, taking out a lot of drones here. High Templar are getting taken out, and he's going to go ahead and rift most of his forces back home, leaving only an Archon and a Templar behind, and those are going to start walking home as well. Mutalisk doing lots of damage, though. He was able to take out the 3rd of Vehk. He was also able to kill a lot of workers as well. We're seeing he's killed 21 workers, whereas Vehk was only able to kill 9. So actually, where that looked really bad for JiMboYo, he actually managed to pull that ahead and make that an advantage. Blinkstalker's now on the field, going to be able to start picking off some of these Mutalisks, I thought. But no, I guess because of the upgrades. See, Vehk at 1-1. Okay, I guess Blinkstalkers maybe just aren't as good against Mutalisks as I thought. So he's going to start gathering up a little bit bigger force, I guess, of Mutalisks. Going to come in with Dragoon help. The pylons were taken out, so all these gateways now unpowered, as well as the robotics facility. And then the Mutalisks are going to come up here and get a nice group of probes just as the probes are going back to mine. 2 probes will manage to make it out of there with their lives. And the Stalker's in a pretty good position here to do some damage because they've got cannon support right over here. Looks like JiMboYo not really paying attention to his Mutalisks there. Ooh, a blink underneath. Not sure I agree with that. Ooh, a miss rally there. Going to send a couple of Mutalisks right over this line of tanks. Oh, a couple of missteps from JiMboYo here. Really nullifying the lead that he took earlier. And another big force from Vehk, full of Zealots, going to try to take out this third. And Roaches, again, tank tons of damage, just like in StarCraft 2. And they also shoot fireballs for some reason in this game. Ooh, High Templars show up again. Nice storms going down, but it might be a little bit late. All the Zealots are taken out by the time the High Templar get down there. And they're just going to have to storm for their lives. And it looks like it's working out alright. Morphing into an Archon, they're going to take out another Roach. And Archon wasn't able to finish, but it doesn't leave a lot for JiMboYo here. One Zealot actually still doing quite a bit of damage. Workers killed now 29 to 12. Mutalisks flying in there to try to do a little bit more damage, but now only down to 4 Mutalisks. Supplies reset to 62 to 76. Really crazy. Both players trying to reestablish their thirds. I mean, this is why I love Starbow, is that this kind of stuff, this isn't even out of the norm, you know. This is just, this kind of stuff always happens in this game. Another little engagement here. Vehk going to be catching JiMboYo a little bit out of position, picking off a couple of the wounded Roaches for free. The Hydralisks now going to join with no Roach support. Nice storms going down, going to take out all the Hydralisks. And JiMboYo now has to retreat back to his third, and he's going to have to get some forces up really quickly if he's going to stay in this game. But no, Vehk going to pull back, not wanting to chase Zerg into their hive cluster there. Mutalisks going to fly back in, try to do a little bit of damage. And they might be able to pick off a few more probes. Only 4 Ultralisks, or not Ultralisks, Mutalisks here. We'll pick off another probe, and really, this is just mostly taxing Vehk's multitasking ability. There we go, a little bit of a tongue twister for me. And nice little surround here for JiMboYo, but it looks like Vehk might just have a little bit too much of an army present with those storms. Getting cancel on a macro hatch there, really nice to do. Gonna stop JiMboYo from spending a lot of his bank. And Vehk gonna go ahead and chase JiMboYo right out of his third once again, but also Vehk not able to mine from his third either. Mutalisks here picking off any probe that tries to mine. Looks like the hatchery will finally get taken out. After I think 4 pushes, this hatchery is finally gonna fall. And what does JiMboYo have to survive against this? He's got Roaches, he's got some Hydralisks on the way, and unless he can really come up with an answer to how he's going to deal with these High Templar, he's going to be in a bad position. He doesn't want to fight in this choke right here, because 2 storms will cover that entire choke, and then he's going to have to move back, and the further he moves back, the more access that Vehk has to destroy him, basically, and get into his natural and start really disrupting the macro ability of JiMboYo. But he's just going to gather up his forces right now. Looks like he's trying to take care of the Mutalisk harass. He's also going to get up his 4th base. He's got cannons about to be on the way all over it. And at that point, really, JiMboYo is running out of options other than to fight his way out of his own base. He's trying to set up... Yeah, I don't know if it's OP. Like I said, it's a zoning tool. It's really hard to say at this point. Nice storms going down, though. Oh, my goodness. You definitely can't sit in storms in Brood War. Or in Starbow. Definitely not. But Vehk agreeing. And, yeah, I mean, the thing, I've had games where I feel like Storm is super OP too, where I'm using it. But then at the same time, I have games where I just can't seem to land Storms, or, you know, nice tech switches. Like, Storms really don't... They do a lot in a straight-up battle versus Mutalisks. But again, they're also slow, so you just have to be active, really, against High Templar. And I feel like they work a little bit like siege tanks, in that you kind of have to just harass them as they move across the field, so that their push is slower, and you just have to catch them in good positions. And, you know, you can't just hope to A-move against an army that has High Templar in it. It's just not going to work out for you. Now JiMboYo really pushed back, trying to reestablish his 3rd as the Protoss player takes his 4th and gets that fully saturated there. So it is 2 mining bases basically here for Vehk, and really, I mean, it's kind of working out to be 2 mining bases for both players as soon as this is up anyway. And JiMboYo actually still has a few resources in his main. Not a lot. I definitely want to call that a mining base. We're down to about 100 resources, or 100 minerals total in that base. The extractor depleted. So, yeah, and the supplies really tell the tale as well. 78 to 142, Vehk almost doubling supply there. Gonna lose a Dragoon and a Stalker though, so small victories like that, always nice to have when you're behind. Let's see, getting his creep spread out a little bit along the way. And his hatchery is about to finish, so he's going to want to transfer those drones. Not on the way yet. I thought they were, but those were actually some roaches. It looks like JiMboYo going to try to go for a flank here, which is really his best option, or his best bet. If he can get us around, it's going to work really well. Unless this is like a small hit squad that's going to try to push into the natural, which just could also be really powerful. He needs to do it before Vehk's army gets into place, though, to do a death march onto his base. It looks like JiMboYo had finally caught wind of this army. He's going to run back home, so this wasn't supposed to be some sort of like base race type thing. He was just trying to get in position for an engagement, but it's not going to happen. Oh, he's actually scouting for a base that was going to be taken right after he leaves. Really nice. He's sending his whole army back to get in position. And I feel like this is kind of like a StarCraft 2 mentality that JiMboYo is having here. He's playing really strong, but he's going for big death ball engagements, which is just not what wins you games in Starbow. Nice concave though. Where are the High Templar? There are no High Templars, so this might actually be enough to hold this off here. The Zealots though getting up close and personal with these Hydralisks doing so much damage. The Blink Stalkers moving up to the front. But JiMboYo definitely has enough to hold this off. And you can see the supplies are now almost even. Great engagement for JiMboYo, pushing this back here on both fronts. The Roach is doing so much damage against these Dragoons and these Blink Stalkers. Incredible. JiMboYo actually taking a supply lead now. He definitely does not have the economic lead at the moment, but really great victory. 8 Dragoons on the way. Couple of High Templar, 1 High Templar, a couple of Dark Templar in the army for Vehk right now. Oh, and the Dark Templar are going to focus this down. There is no detection right now. Overseer getting morphed in right now. That's so frustrating. JiMboYo's got to be upset. Oh, man. He wasn't able to save that in time. 3 Dark Templar are able to take out an entire base, putting JiMboYo back onto 1 mining base. And even that 1 mining base is almost mined out. Excuse me. And the Dark Templar are going to make their way home. Looks like he lost 1 of them. Yeah. See, units lost almost identical, but the thing that you have to look at is the income tab. It's over 3 times the mineral income. Vehk has 3 times the mineral income over JiMboYo right now. You can see it fluctuates as these drones complete their long distance mining, but that was just an incredible blow there. JiMboYo almost pulling his way back in, but then Vehk just abusing his lack of detection and sending a really nice 3 DT hit squad in there to take out an entire base on their own. And now JiMboYo, from being after a great engagement, feeling like he's finally in an okay spot again, now suddenly has to make something happen. And that something is going to be going up against a lot of cannons, but the army is totally out of place. And if he runs in there really quickly, takes out these 2 cannons, he can focus down this Nexus. And Vehk not even going to come in from behind. So if he focuses down this Nexus, he can run out of there and get away scot-free. And he needs to go. He's going to try to. He's getting a little bit greedy right now. He's going to try to take out some probes, which is a nice pickup if he can still get away. Vehk's army slowly moving across the map. He's trying to keep the High Templar and stuff in his army. A replacement 4th coming on the way for Vehk, almost completed here. But nice pickup for JiMboYo. It's really nice that he's able to pick that off. And now we can see, I mean, supplies are still staying pretty much even. JiMboYo really needs to look at taking a 4th himself. There you go. He's going to be taking the 4th, so we're going to see kind of a mirrored bases across the map here. Right? No, not well, kind of. I mean, this is an asymmetrical map, so this is about as mirrored as it's going to get. And so this base on the way. He's got this base back up and mining again. He does keep the Overseer here, so that's good. I always like to have, as a Zerg player, I like to have spore crawlers up. They're not spore colonies, but just keep those up, just so you have a little bit of static detection as well. quite a few observers with his army going to be able to pick off creep tumors and push this creep and map vision back, but that does mean that JiMboYo is going to have a chance to get in position here. Going to set up a nice concave. If he can move his Hydralisk to the back this time, that would be twice as good as well. I think that was one Hydralisk at the front. Actually not going to get taken out. This Hydralisk is a total boss. He's going up there. He says he's not afraid of Zealots. Ooh, trying to get a nice split, but he actually bunches them up really closely together. Storm's going down, going to zone that out. Not able to actually take out any units, though. That does a lot of damage if he's sitting it, but you can move out of it fairly quickly. And Vehk, not real confident that he can take that fight. He does have a nice supply advantage right now, but not enough that he's confident that he can take that fight there. And JiMboYo really uncomfortable right now. He doesn't really have any sort of map vision at the moment. And Vehk just making all the right choices with his army movement here. He's going to head up to this base that is just getting saturated. The spine crawler is not yet finished, and he's going to take out this whole base as drones are transferring to it. And JiMboYo is scrambling to get over there to save this. Vehk putting a nice guard on this choke point here. The High Templar going to move up and storm, big storm there. Quite a few units. Jimbo forced to retreat across this bridge. He needs to push across so bad to save this base, but the base gets taken out. And he just keeps getting pushed back. That's his... He just can't seem to keep his outermost bases secured. Every time he takes a new base, he has such a hard time keeping it. He finally manages to secure this base, takes another one, and then that one suddenly can't stand. So Vehk going to be comfortable taking out that base. He knows that he still has a base lead on a Zerg opponent. And this 196 minerals left here. And is Vehk going to be trying to go for an air transition? Looks like he is going to be getting out some Mutalisks, which is going to be great for harassment. But, I mean, 2 Archons can take out so many Mutalisks. Let's see what the upgrades are looking at. 1-2 upgrades here for Vehk's ground army. It's going to be 1-1 upgrades, I believe, for the area. 1-1 just completed. So these Mutalisks are really they're gonna have a tough time getting things done. They're gonna be great harassment, but then when it comes time for JiMboYo to actually stand against this army like he has to right now, it's gonna be hard to do. Nice concave setup. So many Dragoons though, so many, and Dragoons are such a great all-around unit in this game. Archon's moving up to the front there. He's gonna want to pick those off first, and there's just so many units here for Vehk. Storm's going down, really gonna put the nail in the coffin at this point. I think this is the death push here. Vehk just taking such a commanding position, blocking off the transfer from main bases, and there you go. Jimbo's going to tap out there against all these Dragoons and High Templar. We can see Vehk's Protoss, his game sense very strong, really exciting to see. He's just able to move on the right bases at the right time, and even though that game was back and forth, Vehk just managed to keep this solid minor lead the entire time. It's a really great game. I'm going to be going on to the final game next between Vehk and a barcode player, so we'll see how that goes.